Hello, everybody. Welcome to this live session. If you're just joining us, it's 12 noon. As we had planned, we're going to start with our live mission design sessions for mission 237. Before we get started, right, here we are. Welcome once again. Welcome, everybody. So as we planned, we're doing this live. We want to show the world how we go about designing a space mission and a satellite. And we're doing this for our mission 237. But if you're joining us right now, I cannot start this live without saying a word towards shocking news in the entire tech community, not only in Cameroon, but in all of Africa and in the whole world. Those who are versed with the world of distributed ledger technology, blockchain, and artificial intelligence, you probably know of this legend, Nelly Diop. We just learned of her passing, and I really want to say a word in her honor before I start this session. She was a dear friend and sister. We've known each other for long. In fact, while she was building Ejara, I was working on NMD, and every now and again we would call each other and be like, hey, it's tough, but check on your health. Make sure you're all right. Look after yourself, and we'll just encourage each other like that. Many years have passed. The Ijara is where it is. We are where we are. And today we hear about this very sad news. So I really want to kick off with a word of prayer for her. May she rest in peace. And may the whole community hold on tight. Best of courage to all of us. Let us try and make sure that we honor the work of the likes of Nelly through what we do every day. It's I'm going to be honest, this is a tough life to do, right? I was all pumped up, and then this news came in 15 minutes ago, and like 5 minutes ago I was a mess. I figured, hey, I have to do this. So forgive it if I'm a bit slow, but we're gonna make it through. We're gonna make it through. All right, let's do this. I want to start off by sharing a little bit about the NMD Association and why we are doing these live mission design sessions. It is very simple, and I'm going to share. Yeah, there you go. So here we're ready the technical session. So first, I need to introduce the association, right? What are we trying to do? We want to make sure that everyone in Africa has a chance to learn how to design and build a satellite and space mission. And we want to do this with real space missions, real satellites, One thing that is missing in the world is actual satellites in orbit that are accessible for to those who want to learn. Today, if you want to learn about satellites and space missions, you hardly get the opportunity to access a real satellite in orbit, and you hardly get the opportunity to actually build a satellite. So we figured, why don't we make this accessible to all of Africa? So we're doing it, we're building it, right? And this is the purpose of this association. We are making everything we design available to the members of the association. We're going to share the link so that everyone can join and become a member and benefit from all of what we're doing. We already have some members. Some are online at the moment. Some are not. Some will join. So we're going to dive right in. And this is the first of many sessions. And in this particular live stream, I'm going to share with you first what you should expect at the end of this design phase, right? I'm going to go back to this video that was playing as we started. Really, this is a short demo, let me call it this way, but it's a real design. It's a real design of a real mission that is intended to help connect devices in Cameroon. This is applicable to just about anywhere. The idea is that you have a satellite. The category of satellites we're going to be designing is pico satellites. Forgive me if I don't dive in, if I don't do the technical intro. Everything I'm talking about here, you can learn if you join the association. You become a member. All the training content is available for free for all the members. So what we will be designing, the platforms I'll be using, the software I'll be using, the techniques I'll be using, the approaches, everything you can learn for free just by becoming a member, right? So there are basic concepts to understand. Those concepts are available. You can learn for free. So I'm not going to. I'll try my best to simplify the vocabulary, but at some point it's going to be a little technical. It's mission design sessions, but you can really understand what I'm talking about by joining and learning. It's all available for free for all members of the association. So we're using satellites we're using pocket cubes, and we're going to be designing a satellite that will have the capability to collect data from sensors on the ground and making this data available on dashboards and this data will then be used by different stakeholders. What you're looking at on the screen, you will be able to do yourself. We're going to do it together, session after session. And how to learn how to do it by yourself is also something you can learn it if you join the association as a member, right? You learn it free of charge. What we're going to be focusing on is the step-by-step of how to design a space mission and a satellite. We're going to focus on this space mission. Now, why do we want to build this satellite? There are two objectives. The first is to have real satellites in orbit that Africans can use to learn. Learn by doing, learn by operating. What's the best way to learn how to build a satellite? Is by building a satellite. What's the best way to learn how to design a space mission? Is by designing a space mission. What's the best way to learn how to operate a space mission? Is by operating a space mission. So we're actually going to be designing together, we'll build together, we will launch and operate together. Let me dive in the core of the matter of today. I'll come back to the association and some more details of how you can join later. One thing that I have to mention is while it's interesting that I do it, I've done it, I don't know how many times. Pulling in the African community to design with me is what is interesting. So those who are members who want to dive in and actually design, we have some of them already. That's from Ethiopia, from Cameroon, from Senegal, those who have already shown interest from DRC also, who are actively going to contribute and have already shown interest in one aspect or the other. So these participants are going to have to play a major role in the design of this satellite and this space mission. I want to start off with this document because the first thing you do is you have to do the mission design, and at the end of mission design and analysis, you deliver a document that it can be called a number of things, but mission analysis and feasibility report is one way to call the document that you deliver at the end of a space mission. So I'm starting at the end. So you will deliver a mission, a document like this, after doing the necessary work to be able to do mission simulations like this, right? So you will be able to do a simulation like this. We will do one. You'll be able to deliver a spacecraft design, a satellite. This is an example of a 2U CubeSat. We won't be doing this. We'll be doing a pocket cube, much, much smaller than this. But we will do this. It's important. We cannot move forward without designing the satellite. So you'll see this is the satellite with its subsystems. We design a satellite like this, and then we take this satellite and we put it in orbit like this for it to do its mission. And we do different simulations and analysis that will help us to deliver a document like this one. All right. So what is this document about? Let me tell you what it will contain, and then we dive in right with the core of the matter. So I have already prepared the skeleton of this document just based on my experience with different missions. And if you want to have access to this template, you can use it as a template. If you're a student, if you are working on a mission for the first time, if you are in a university, if you're doing a competition where you have to propose space missions and design space missions, you can access this template. It's available to all association members, and you can use this template as a starting point so that you have a complete document at the end of the day. So what are we going to do? The first part is going to be filled in at the end, right? And week after week, like I said, this is the first session. We're going to be having a live session like this every week, okay? And we'll be moving forward step by step in the design of the space mission together. Week by week, we're going to be making progress on this. The executive summary, we will populate it at the end. When I say we, ideally, I don't want to do it, right? I can do it, but I really want the community to do it. Those who join the association and become members and dive in, and week after week, we populate it. And I'm going to review. I'll be making comments on the document. I'll make sure it's right. I'll correct where there are mistakes and things like this. But this is the learning process. As you join, each and everyone who wants to contribute will contribute, and I'll make sure it's all in order. The first thing we need to ascertain is the background. I've already situated it within our context in Africa. And after that, mission objectives. The requirements will come right after. Then we start looking at the trade-offs. This is the part where we dive into software to do mission simulations, to see what are the constraints. We're going to design the satellite, make sure that the different constraints are taken into account. We dive into the design. What is it going to look like from space, on the ground, from the operations? Then we extract actual technical budgets. How heavy will the satellite be? How much power will it consume? How much data will be transported? Will we have a link? What do we need to do to have an actual link? Right? Then, of course, we go to the rest of the programmatics for the other phases, right? The conclusions, recommendations, etc., etc. Okay, let's look at the matter of concern today. I'm going to explain the reason why we are trying to do this, the mission background and rationnel, as you say in French. Missions 237. What problem, first of all, as you will see when you become a member and you do the Introduction to Space Mission Design, which is open to people from any background, you will see every space mission has to solve a problem. And it has to be a pragmatic problem. So here we have one main problem we're trying to solve with this space mission. The biggest problem we want to solve is one that is indirectly linked to the satellite itself. We want to solve the problem of skills shortage in Africa in space science and technology, right? And how do we want to solve this problem? By making it possible for the maximum number of Africans to learn practical skills, like practically the most pragmatic route to being practically able to contribute to a real space mission and do it fast without feeling the constraints either of money or geography. So how do we make sure that the maximum of Africans can learn where they are, each in their country, in their city, practically how to design and build a satellite and how to design and build and operate a space mission from within their city where they are? This we need to solve, because it's important if you want to achieve a certain level of technological sovereignty in the space sector, without which we cannot really pretend we want to do anything in the sense of sustainable development. So how do we solve this? We solve it by building satellites that are low cost, low risk, and for which the technology is easily accessible. But a satellite, you don't launch a satellite just for the sake of launching. It needs to have pragmatic use, not for a short period of time, but for years. All right? What pragmatic use can a low cost, so cheap, low risk, low technology satellite have on the continent? Well, in Africa today, Some of the biggest challenges are around disaster management. This is not just the case of Africa, it's in the whole world, but well, let's focus on Africa for a minute here. If we can anticipate in terms of early warning around flooding, there are other things around which we want to be able to have early warning, but let's just take flooding because it's a main issue in many parts of Africa. One way to do it is to have sensors on the ground. Let me go back to this video. One way to do it is to have sensors on the ground. If you look at your screen on the top left, you have some vessels and you have some points on different places. Imagine you have sensors distributed and a satellite passing by collecting the data like this, right? There are ways to do this in a very, very cost-effective manner. In fact, there are ways to do it such that the sensors are assembled and maintained by universities distributed around the continent, okay? If I take a country like Cameroon, we can make a design accessible to all universities, and student projects are around maintaining these sensors in places where the sensors are collecting data and sending them directly to a satellite. And it takes student projects to a different level. It's not the theoretical classroom type of projects. It becomes very real, and it is very, very affordable. Honestly, it's even cheaper than some actual university projects, even in Cameroon, honestly. And the idea is putting sensors in places where the data collected helps to do early warning around flooding and other natural phenomena, okay? Now, this means we will have a network of sensors on the ground. With a network of sensors on the ground, what you can do is to collect the data from these sensors using a satellite. Just like this satellite is collecting the data as it passes by. And you can collect this data every single day. Every single day. The challenge with sensors, I'll take Cameroon, but I know it is the case in many other places. The challenge with sensors on the ground is that you cannot fully rely on terrestrial connectivity networks, be it internet or GSM or anything. It's important to have an alternative, which is why, should internet fail, should other forms of terrestrial connectivity fail, at least we have this satellite that's passing by and collecting the data every day. Now, this central dashboard will make the data available to university researchers, the decision makers, and so on and so forth. And also, a mission like this one helps students to learn. A mission like this one helps people from the community to learn how to operate a space mission. And this is the other part of pragmatic skills development, where we want to make this mission accessible to all who want to learn. There is a specific education and capacity development aspect to this mission. Today, as it exists in the world, if you want to operate a space mission, even as a student, you need to be in a university, and that university has to have a satellite, and they have to give you some level of access so you can at least learn about the operations. It's very restrictive. So we're going to do this and open it, make it so that people who want to learn how to operate a mission can actually send commands to these satellites and receive data from these satellites, and receive telemetry, and send messages, and do a number of things that are linked to mission operation. Okay, so this is what we want to do. So the background, this is it. This is what we're trying to do. So what is the problem we're trying? Sorry, I have two screens. I get a bit confused with my mouse, where to take the cursor from one screen to the other. So this is a problem. The problem, it is difficult to get a maximum number of people trained in space science and technology. And there are problems, real critical problems, for which with very low tech, we can actually contribute to solving these problems using a mission that is also a pedagogic mission. For those who have been involved in the space sector for a little while, you know what pocket cubes are. Just to illustrate, in our lab next door, we have some skeleton print of a 3U, but I didn't want to show that because it doesn't really, from a size perspective, it's not what we're looking for. We're looking more like something of this size, just so you get an idea, how small it can be, or half of it. It really depends. It can be much smaller. With a satellite not bigger than this, which we're going to design it. We're going to design it. You will, and by the time we're done designing it, we're going to be describing it and showcasing it like this, with its solar panels, its source subsystems, with the reason why they are what they are, the antennas, if we're going to have deployment mechanisms, or if we're not, we're going to make these choices together, so you get a good sense of what we're going to end up with. Okay, so this is the why. Background, I've spoken about the strategic motivation, which has to do with growing the skill set in the continent, making sure we have pragmatic and very, very practical human capacity development. Of course, this is in alignment with continental priorities, be it SND 30, African Union Agenda for 2063, the African Space Policy, and the African Space Strategy. All of this is well in alignment with where the continent is trying to go. So this mission actually makes sense. There's a big drive towards skills development in the space sector, and a mission like this is very, very well positioned to make a major contribution in that sense, right? The stakeholders, it's literally the world. Of course, there's those who learn. And I have to mention, while there's a big focus on Africans, it's not exclusively Africans, right? Anyone else on Earth who wants to use the Mission 237 to learn practically how to design, build, launch, operate a satellite and space mission, you're welcome. Join the association, become a member. Everything else becomes accessible to you, including these documents. This is the design. This is a design document, but also the design files. Let me see. I'll try to show you the design files here, if I can figure out how to move this. Okay, there you go. Let's see. I'll try to show you the design files. I'll share it with you. There you go. Let me share. All right. So it's a simple directory tree. Yeah? It's nothing, but it's important that you understand that the actual files. So this is This is an IDM file. We're going to be using software from the French Space Agency to design the satellite and the space mission. So this is how it is structured. We have mission 237, number 1. Inside this directory, you have the mission, presentations, and trainings. If you dive in the mission, you have the M237 Sat-1, which is the first satellite which we're designing. And this is the mission document. The one I'm showing you, this is it, right? So these are mission files. In a normal space mission, well, normal, in traditional, so to speak. And I say traditional just because it's generally very hidden, very confidential, very somewhere. But this is me really opening the door to what happens in the industry that nobody really gets access to ever. And I'm just putting it out in the world. So this is an example of how it would be structured. And then you have the file. And here you have the mission design and the satellite design. From here, you're going to move on to other directories. But if you look at the satellite design, the first thing we have here is the design file, which is done using IDM CIC. If you want to learn how to use this tool, it's also, we made some content available for free for all association members. It's there, you can learn, right? Become a member and just learn. It's free, go ahead and learn. Then we use this to design the satellite. With this, we obtain this, right? We obtain something like this and more. It goes through a file. I'm going to show you what it looks like. But that's the design file. And then we have on the mission design side another mission file, right? And all of these files are available to members for free. And it's a real mission, real design, real files, real calculations, real simulations, real everything. Like in the real world, like others do it, and it ends up in space. And this is it. We're really doing it for everyone to see and everyone to access. As long as you're a member of the association, it's there. You get it. So we'll have the design files like this that will be accessible to all. But before accessing the files, even before building the files, there are a few things you need to learn how to do. On the satellite side, let me show you just the file I showed you just now. What the first interface for design looks like. Okay. Using a software called IDM CIC, I once did a tutorial for this that is available on our YouTube channel, which we're also streaming this live on. Here, we start the design of the satellite, okay? I'm showing you this because you will recognize this when we start building. And this is the first session is an intro where I'm showing you the tools. This is what we're going to use. This is the actual file we're going to be building. We'll be adding elements, adding subsystems, adding users, real people from the community. Like I said, there are already people who will be in charge of different subsystems here. I know for now, we already know that the guy who's going to be looking after the flight software is a guy from Senegal. You know, we spoke not too long ago. There's some other aspects of what's the subsystem, I have to check. That will be handled by someone from Ethiopia. I won't give the names yet. There's some aspects of mechanical engineering handled by some lady in Cameroon, also mechanical engineering. And as the responsibilities go, so do the roles go. And if you're quick enough to dive in, you get a shot. But if you're not directly involved as responsible for a subsystem like this, you can be involved also indirectly. You can make a contribution to a subsystem. Okay, I'm not saying it's closed, but I'm very happy that the community is taking charge, right? Um, and I want to open the door for someone else to look at it from a systems point of view. Just show your hand and say, I want to do it, and then we make it happen. Okay. So this is what we're going to be using. It's accessible. There's training on how to use it available on the if you're for all association members. Next, I want to show you is what we will use to design the mission, because what I just showed you now, this right here, this is what we'll use to design the satellite. Okay, but this satellite is going to be used in a space mission like this one, right? So what do we use to design this space mission? We're going to use something called CMU-CIC. I'm going to share this with you so you see what this interface will look like, so that after this live, you're not surprised if you see it in the near future somewhere. It looks like this. There you go. So this is what it looks like. This is the actual one, and the author, NMD Association, mission 237 number 1. We're looking at start date of say first quarter of 2027. Hopefully it can start before. The design and the rest of the mission will tell us, okay? If we get a launch opportunity and everything lined up well, and I'm going to mention that just after this, we're going to try and do a simulation for what it would look like one day in orbit, and then we'll extend it. But for a start with the 30-second steps, this is what it looks like, and we'll dive in. And if you want to learn how this works, again, the content is accessible to members. Just join, you learn for free. Really, it's I don't know. I don't know if there's another mechanism to sort of scale learning, quick pragmatic learning like this, but you know, this is at least our contribution we're trying to make. All right. So here are the tools, and this is what we want to do. I have explained the very first and probably most important part of this, because it is the, how do you call it? Use the word North Star. I have to find the right. I have to find the right screen to share. Yeah, here we are. Where is my? There you go. Okay. So this is the most important, because this will guide what you do moving forward. Everything we will be doing, from the software we use and everything, the parameters we choose, will be around the problem we are solving. Okay. Yeah, I originally I intended to start typing here for everyone to see this is the problem and so on and so forth, but I won't do it. It's much better when those who join in type. I know what the problem is. I just explained it to you. But to populate this document, it means a lot if the community is actually building it. So we know how to fill all these gaps, and we're going to be filling it. Today is a live session, right? During the week, different participants will be working and making their contributions. So hopefully during the live, we'll have next Friday, same time. This is Friday, next Friday noon. I will be presenting the progress from the document point of view, and we will be diving into the design. And I'm hoping to do much less of the design work, but be there to help and accompany the whole community designing this satellite and this space mission. Let's see, where are we? Oh, we're here. All right. So with this, I want to go back to the association. I want to go back to the association and share with you how you can become a member. And it's very simple. Let me see. Can somebody from the team put the link to the association in comment? Let me see, maybe I can do that. Maybe I can do that. There you go. I'm going to copy that and put it in the comments here. If I can figure out the mouse, there you go. Right. So that's the, if you're looking at the comments now, that's the link to the website of the NMD Association. Okay. Now let me explain to you what we want to achieve here. Generally, when people try to build space missions and satellites, they go out and look for somebody who can pay for it. And I looked around and said, okay, who can pay for this thing? But I figured that's one way to do it. We can keep doing that, but at the same time, what else can we do to fund this mission? There's the mission and there's the training. How can we pull in enough money to build a satellite, launch it, operate it, and train a maximum of Africans and other people from around the world? One simple way to do is say, okay, let's see if we can get as many members to join with a very little membership fee. And these membership fees will help to pile in the money to go step by step and build the satellites and design and launch, etc., etc. And people can do donations and things. So this is why this is why it is of interest to join as a member, because your membership fee is helping to fund the whole mission. But the things around design and all the design from the spacecraft to the space mission, we're already busy with. That's what we're doing. So at this, with this, if you follow this link, you can become a member. You go to the window that says become a member, you click and it's simple, you become a member, right? I want to share with you, before we close, our advisory board for the NMD Association. This board is growing, but these three gentlemen I want to share with you first. So at the head of the advisory board is Professor Jordi Puig-Suari. Professor Jordi is the co-inventor of the CubeSat standards. When I reached out to him and explained to him what we were trying to do, he was really excited about it and fully supportive. I asked if he would come on board as the head of the advisory board, and he was glad to accept. I'm really grateful to him for his support of this initiative, because his guidance is so precious, right? And being the guy who invented the CubeSat standards, it's a big honor for us to have his guidance in a project like this. That when it comes to CubeSats, nano satellites in general, him and Bob Twiggs, they're the guys. They're the ones who set the world in the trajectory of nano satellites. And I'm very, very honored to have him on board as the head of the board of the advisory board. Then we have two pioneers, Professor Fansel and Professor Dussault. Professor Fansel led the team that designed the first African CubeSat, designed and launched the first African CubeSat. And Professor Dussault led the team that designed and built the first France CubeSat. So here you have the person who was leading the first African CubeSat project. You have the guy who was leading the first French CubeSat project. And both of them are in the advisory board of the association, helping us to build this project, right? To make sure that we can have these missions, and that these missions can help educate and solve pragmatic problems. Okay. There are more coming on board. I'm happy to share with you that just yesterday, the head of the Gabonese space program accepted to join the advisory board. Dr. Abubakar Mabimba Jungi. So his profile will be added here. Grateful to him, because again, in Central Africa, he's the leader. He's the one who has many steps ahead of all of us in terms of running a space program, right? The Gabonese Space Agency, AGEOS, is way ahead of the entire Central African sub-region. And it's beautiful to be able to count on his guidance also on the advisory board of the NMD Association. And we're hoping to have more and more figures on here. So this is who we are. This is what we're trying to achieve for our beloved continent and planet. And I do hope we can count on the support of you guys. Just become a member, you would have made a huge contribution. And while you're in as a member, you basically get access to everything that we're putting and making available to you. The other link I want to share with you in comment here is the URL that will allow you to join our WhatsApp community. To join our WhatsApp community, where is this link? There you go. Okay. I'm also sharing that in comment right now. So you can join the NMD Association WhatsApp community. All this information and stuff is on there. I'm not sure if these links are being reflected both on LinkedIn and on YouTube. But if it is not on both, then we'll make sure it's available. On LinkedIn, you can DM me, send me a message directly, and I'll give you all the access you need. If it is not the case, then go for it. If you don't see it in your comment on LinkedIn, then you can DM me, but I'm very sure it is on YouTube. And if it's not, you can also just send me a message, no problem. All right. So coming back to the design, I'm sure you expected to see some very complicated things. They will come. The first thing to do in mission and spacecraft design, you have to understand the problems. You will understand. It's clearly stated in one of our trainings that, of course, you'll have access to for free once you join the membership. The association will dive into these constraints and make them practical. No? So from this week, as the week is unfolding, there's going to be a lot of work done here. And next week, Friday, when we come back, we're going to be getting our hands dirty on the mission design, software, SIMU-CIC, and the spacecraft design software, IDM-CIC, that I showed you. These are the actual packages that the French Space Agency uses to design their missions and spacecrafts. We are fortunate that they make it accessible so that other people can use it to design, and these are fantastic tools. I've used it over the years many times, and I'm happy to share both the use of it in this mission and how to use it with the rest of the community. All right. This is the first step. This was what I had to share with you today in the first live of this mission. I want to summarize the objective of these space missions is to allow for a maximum of Africans to gain pragmatic skills in spacecraft design and space mission design. We do this by building real satellites and real space missions. But a space mission has to solve a problem, a real problem. A satellite has to go to orbit to solve a problem. What problem are we solving with these satellites? We want to address situations around early warning for disaster management. And if we zoom in on flooding, there are many others, but I'm looking at flooding just for a start. The idea being that if we're able to position sensors on the ground such that every day we collect the data, this data can help with early warning. And we can, if we have a design that is then distributed in universities, it makes for the maintenance over years to be more pragmatic. Yes, there are challenges that come with it, but we will address them. Our satellite, therefore, will be collecting all this data and making it available for decision makers, but also for research. And the satellite that can do this does not need to be complicated. We can do it with a low cost, low tech, low risk satellite of the category of pocket cubes, tiny piece of satellite like this that can fit in your hand, right? And we're going therefore to be designing one of these here for everyone to see how it's done. Every design file, every document, every software, everything around this mission will be available to all members of NMD Association. And the training on how to do it, how to use the software, how to use the platforms will also be available for all NMD Association members. I've shown you the step one. I've shown you the mission, the skeleton of the mission design and feasibility report. You can use it as a template. It's accessible to all members if you want. We already have some who have taken charge of some subsystems. It's going to be the first time for just about all of them, which is great, and I'm happy to guide each and every one on how to get it done. At the end of this, we're going to have a group of people who have had real life, real world, real pragmatic experience on how to do it. I also shared in comments the link to the NMD Association website so that you can join, you can become a member. And I've shared the link to our WhatsApp community so you can join the community and be a part of the day-to-day life of the association, at least as far as what we do on there. So I'm happy to take on. I don't know if there are questions. I haven't seen any in comments. If there are questions, maybe they can be asked in comments. If there are comments to make, then you can put them in comments. If there are none, we're going to close this first live and say we will meet again next week, Friday at noon, for the second live around space mission design and spacecraft design for mission 237 number 1. Thank you very much for being with us here, and it's a start. This has never been done before. We've never done this before. I've never hosted a live design like this in front of everyone. So there may be some quacks here and there, but we'll make it. We'll make it. Today was a very challenging one. Let me close again as I prepare to leave. It was planned for 1 hour. I think we're doing good with time. But I want to close again with a word of prayer for our sister, a great pioneer in the African tech ecosystem, Nelly, who passed today. The news came in about less than 2 hours ago. Basically, is still shaking the entire community. You will, if you haven't yet, you will probably see it on your LinkedIn feeds and different platforms. It's a shock. It's a shock to all of us. Let's look after each other. Let's call each other. Find out how your friends are doing. Find out how each other is doing. Keep in touch. The world of entrepreneurship is tough enough that it's important sometimes to just check in on each other, see how we're doing. We spoke not too long ago. When I say not too long ago, probably 2 weeks ago. And we spoke a lot in December about what we're trying to do in January. And as we're planning to start doing what we want to do in January, well, somebody just leaves like that. So it's not, this is life. Best of courage to all of us. Check in on each other. Make sure you look after your health. Yeah. Happy New Year to everyone. Looking forward to speaking to you again next week, Friday at noon. You'll be informed of the details of the content of the next live. I hope to have a maximum of you join the community, and I hope to have some guests online from next week. Have a great day and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.